Well, thanks for staying with us. It's time now for Media Watch, for which I'm joined by James Creedon. Hi, James.
Good evening indeed. How are you?
All right. So I understand we're starting off with a look at some of the mounting opposition in Europe against what's being billed as the European equivalent of the very SOPA, the very controversial anti-piracy bill in the US.
That's right. So we saw a lot of discussion about that a couple of weeks ago. There were demonstrations online. Wikipedia took its page down because they didn't want the US government, the US Congress, to enact these laws that would restrict sharing of information online, etc., in the name of protecting copyright. And so now there's a lot of the same activists are coming out against what is known as ACTA. That is ACTA. And we have, if we can have a look online here, it's the Anti-Copyright the Anti-Counterfeit Trade Agreement. Now, it's an agreement between 9 different countries, and we're seeing a lot of activism online. Videos such as this one here on YouTube, which has had some 1,663,000 clicks in just a few months. And I think we have pictures of that video. We're seeing a lot of these videos at the moment for campaigns against the likes of SOPA and PIPA, those American bills, and ACTA now in Europe, which simplify very complex issues. I mean, they are very complex issues. These are international agreements aiming to regulate intellectual property. So it's stuff that switches people off, really, because it is very technical. But when it could affect your privacy to surf the web for free, when it could affect pharmaceutical companies, their power over drugs, etc., I suppose then you can see the extent to which this is actually quite important. So these videos actually do a very good job of getting people interested, explaining complex issues, and then mobilizing people to take action against agreements such as this. So just to kind of explain concretely what ACTA is, it's an agreement between the EU countries and 12 others, including the US, Canada, Australia, Japan. It aims to protect patents online and in industry. So it's not just the internet, it also concerns, for example, the sale of generic drugs. In, say, poorer countries, you might, I suppose you can have generic drugs which are cheaper and more readily accessible. That would be outlawed because the pharmaceutical company that invented the drug would be able to protect its patent. So it could have a big effect on healthcare, on agriculture around the world. A lot of people now showing their anger about this particular agreement and saying that it has been agreed behind closed doors by technocrats at an international level, that it's anti-democratic, and that it is as extensive in its, I suppose, what it would put in place as SOPA and PIPA, which mobilized a load of people in the US, and it actually got put on hold. They managed to put those two bills on ice in the US Congress. So it shows the extent to which people power can work with these kind of issues.
So does it look like any protests or actual mobilisation is going to be happening in
Absolutely, very much so, Georgia. Let's take a look at this map. It's a Google map which has been put up online. That is, each little icon there is where a protest has been organised for next Saturday, the 11th of February. Now, when you click on each one, you get a little Facebook link. So this is showing you how well people are organised. This is for one in Sofia in Bulgaria, so across Europe. And I notice particularly in Eastern Europe, people are mobilising against this. You have 35,000 people saying that they're going to go to that demonstration next Saturday in Sofia. Here in Paris, some 2,000 people have signed up for a similar demonstration. And you can see here a list of all the cities across Europe. They're just in Germany, these ones here. And elsewhere, down in France, you've got towns such as Poitiers, small enough towns in France where 100 people say they're going to turn out. So it's amazing the way in which the internet organises what would have been quite a catastrophic, I'm sure, campaign about a very technical issue into something that's quite manageable and digestible, with videos like the one we just saw, with campaigns like this on Facebook, just getting people to sign up so that they know how to give their support to a campaign like this.
Well, but we have actually already seen some signs of protest against the act, haven't we?
Now, last week, the hackers group Anonymous, they hacked into the Prime Minister's website in Poland. Poland, one of the first countries to give its support to this international agreement. Today, Donald Tusk said that he is actually going to put his agreement with FAR ACTA on ice. So he has actually done an about turn. In Slovenia, same story. One of their ambassadors to Japan signed a document to do with ACTA without having read it. She was inundated with emails and with letters, etc., to the point where she actually issued a public. She said, that she apologised to her children and her nation for signing ACTA, and called for mass demonstrations tomorrow against the act. So it shows, I suppose, the extent to which... a huge about turn, and it shows, I suppose, that public pressure is having a greater impact really on politicians, on technocrats, on diplomats' choices. If they see that there is a massive amount of opposition to something, which is very easy to express now via social media, etc., they might actually change their mind and change their policies. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next 10 days with ACTA, and whether or not it'll go the same way as SOPA and PIPA in the US, i.e. put on ice for now or even abandoned.
Well, brilliant. Thanks a lot for that, James, there, updating us on efforts to get people to act on ACTA online. Well, that's it for Media Watch for the moment. Now, stay with us. You've got more news and headlines coming up.